The Bharatiya Janata Party wishes to put on record its grief and expression of loss in the death of Sri Kailashpati Mishra ji, who has been the governor of Gujarat formerly, was the founder member of Bharatiya Janata Sangh, and also served as Bihar's finance minister, was the president of BJP in Bihar, was also the vice president of All India Bharatiya Janata Party. His cremation is expected to take place tomorrow at 5 p.m. in Bhansi Ghat in Patna. We place on record condolences and pray that his soul rest in peace, and the support that the party would extend to his bereaved family. Just before coming here, we have heard a very spirited defense of the Congress party's latest misadventure by the chief spokesperson of the Congress party. He has come up with the defense by taking names of eminent Congress leaders, by trying to talk about the ideology which derives a lot of comfort and strength for the common man in the name of socialistic value system, and read out passages from the Congress party's constitution, as though all of which are going to justify what the party has done in terms of giving in 0% interest. No interest is different from zero interest rate. Giving a huge loan as a political party for a commercial operation. Names dropping or names taking cannot justify a misdeed. And to then point at the Bharatiya Janata Party by taking the name of the party to say the BJP cannot defend or define what is political. It is the law which denies, laws of this land which will define what is political. Neither the Congress nor the BJP, none of us are going to be able to define it, but it is the law of the land which decides which is political and which is not. And to have to say it is not the BJP which will decide on what is political, very carefully, but surely in a typical Congress fashion, the spokesperson says, "Hum tay karenge." No, sorry Congress party, you've got it wrong. It is very typical of the Congress to have that very arrogant statement come saying, "We will decide it." You decided, and that is where you lent the money at 90 crores of rupees, and you were wrong. So please don't take upon yourself decisions which are not in your hand. And also to quote passages from the constitution of the party, Congress party's own constitution, which has very populist and attractive words like socialism in it. Why is it that today, when this big misdeed has been done by the Congress party, do they remember socialism? Did they not remember it when they brought in 91, as they claim always, the globalization, liberalization? Was that also an extension of socialism? The Congress party moves conveniently out of socialism to open up Indian economy. Very well, all of us do believe in free market. But you were committing yourself to socialism, didn't you? Your resolution several times went on talking about Congress's commitment to socialism. Where was that Congress party in 91 then? Where was that Congress party which is quoting socialism today? So neither ideologically nor as per the bylaws of the Congress Party's own constitution, what they have done is justifiable. Political parties cannot lend money, whether interest free or on a very high attractive interest rate. Political parties cannot lend money for commercial operations. And if only you're being repeatedly told that because it has been started by an eminent or several eminent congressmen earlier, that paper will have to be revived. It is you who closed it. The closure of National Herald as a paper was also done by the very same people. So, to give us an information today in a very sanctimonious tone does not justify where your own senior Congress leaders of that stature whose names you've taken today would have really hesitated to take any action. But you have done today what they could not have done, lent money for commercial operations. And clearly today the impression by observers, political observers, is the sudden interest in National Herald is probably through the Young Indian Trust, which has been formed by the General Secretary of the party, is far more probably for the real estate value, maybe. And it is very, very important for us to also know that political parties lending with interest or without interest cannot inadvertently become a conduit for money laundering. It is important to understand this. Political parties cannot inadvertently become a conduit for money laundering. We have to understand this, and therefore, even by taking names or by quoting a not so relevant passage from the Congress's constitution today, just because it picks on the word socialism, which you have violated by bringing the globalization under Congress-led regime in 91, to now to talk about these just very clearly shows that you're trying to deflect attention of the people from the core issue, which is the political party lending money, which is violative of income tax laws. Violative of income tax laws because both the donor and the recipient have tax exemptions. Somebody who gives money to the political party gives money for political parties' political activities. And the recipient, who's here in this case the Congress party, receives for political activities. And where the operations of a newspaper which was started by a congressman probably long time ago, and to then say that that attempt may not have a commercial benefit for the party, these are all trying to interpret it in a certain way which may or may not fit into the legal framework of the country. So the Congress party should now explain its position rather than keep justifying what it has done, quoting not so relevant sections of the law or not so relevant sections of the Congress party's own constitution. And if indeed the intention was to give an answer, why did the spokesperson today not take any questions from the media? Media obviously voices a lot of issues by raising questions and seeks answers.